And David, you can see the moisture on the umbrellas. They're not to protect you from the sun. It's raining right now.
Yeah, that's tough. It's tough because it's hard packed out there. And this track isn't going to soak up this rain very well. It's just going to sit on the top and be really slimy and slippery, and it's tough to choose a tire. And I remember being in that situation. You don't know what you're going to use, and the final decision is up to the rider. Sometimes you just go and look at what everyone else is doing and just copy them.
Well, you saw Jeff Emig there. He's got the guards in front to keep the mud off of his clutch lever and front brake lever, and there they go off Emig on the outside. Let's see who comes through with a whole shot. Well, who else? Look at Jeremy McGrath right on the inside. It looks like Jeremy is going to come out in front. Everybody tiptoeing through the first turn. Looks like no problems. The field now spreading out, but McGrath is out front, and look at that. Albertine is off with another good start.
Looks like number 62, I think that's Mike Jones, and also Emig got a pretty good start. He went into the first corner, played it smart. Everyone drifted wide, and he came out. Looks like he's running 4th or 5th right there.
You mentioned Mike Jones. He's another one of the privateers out of Export, Pennsylvania. And look at that, riding along in 3rd place right now. And in 4th place, you've got John Dowd. Jeff Emig is in 5th. And I don't know, did you see LaRocco in that mess anywhere?
I didn't see him. I think he's up in there. He may have gone to the outside in that corner just off of our picture. I can't imagine him being much further back than that. If he is, that's going to be horrible.
Well, look at John Dowd now as he tries to make the move around Albertine, and he makes it work for the moment to take over the 2nd spot. But Jeremy is starting to put a little distance on the rest of these guys. Look at that 3-way battle back there for 3rd place.
Right. I think of all these guys right now, you can see how slippery it is. Almost a slow race. They can barely get over these doubles. You see where it's real shiny right there? Yeah. See, that's how slick Albertine gets sideways. All that shiny stuff is like riding on ice. So you go to clear a double jump and you just get wheel spin the whole way. You got to make sure the bike's pointed perfectly straight. And the guy of all these guys running up front that I think is probably the most comfortable in this situation is John Dowd.
Yeah, he's a mudder. You were a mudder too, weren't you? What's the difference? What makes one guy good in the mud?
Well, you just have to want to do good in the mud. I mean, a lot of times guys just don't like it, and I just kind of forced myself to like it and sort of pretended like I liked it.
Oh, look at John Dowd. He's liking it a lot right now as he gets around Jeremy McGrath and takes over the lead. So you didn't like it, but you made the other guys think you liked it? So
yeah, I would just pretend. It was just a bluff, really. And
look at Jeremy McGrath goes down, and Emig runs over, almost running over his rear tire. McGrath losing what, 4 or 5 spots, just dropping the bike right there.
You can see the rain coming down. That was just one of those slick spots. I was just getting ready to say, look how they've got to stay in the berm right there and use that cushion, all that loose dirt that gets pushed off to the side. That's where you want to ride, and Jeremy was just in that slick rut right there and let it get away from him. I mean, he's one of the best riders in the world and drops it, so you can see how tough it is.
Well, one good thing about the rain, well, there we see, isn't that LaRocco coming through right there? I can't get the number plate, but yeah, that's LaRocco. He is starting to make a move toward the front. One good thing about the rain, it's been so hot here. This is going to cool it off a little bit, but if the rain moves out, and oh, look at Albertine almost get into Jeff Emig. They are just sliding around. Man, but what the rain's going to do if the sun comes back out, it's going to make it even worse because the temperature's going to come up. It's going to be even more humid than it was before. But John Dowd enjoying things right now as he is out in front. Jeff Emig moves into the 2nd spot. So we talk about valuable points. We saw McGrath go down. Emig has now a couple of spots on him, so he has a chance to cut into that points lead, which after Moto number 1 had ballooned up to 16 points.
Right. Well, if Emig can get to the lead right here, his teammates in the lead, possibly Yamaha would it's possible they could make that a little easier for him to get around. There's Jeff DeMint, tore the fender off his bike. And I think Yamaha could make that a little easier for Emig to move into the lead with John Dowd being up there at the moment. And that would be valuable points on Jeremy and really force Jeremy to push himself on a kind of a track where if you push yourself, you're probably ended up on the ground. You got to ride really careful in these situations.
Well, McGrath is falling back. He's out of the top 5. Let's check into his pits with Art Ekman.
Well, Skip, after going down on a track like this, it's mighty tough to catch up because it's so slick right now.
Yeah, it is. It's real slick. Right now he's behind LaRocco, and he seems to be a little bit more aggressive. He's riding a little cautious maybe that first lap. Like I say, we got a long moto left to go, and Emig's in 2nd. Hopefully it will stay there. We can catch up to him. If not, we're going to lose some points this moto.
Did you make any basic changes, or did you have time to when the rains came?
No, we didn't change a thing. He was real happy with the bike the first time. It was soft the first moto, so we decided we were going to leave it. No changes. Made one small adjustment on the shock. Planning on it hardening up a little bit, but it didn't do that, so we'll find out how that works.
Well, right now, he better hope it works good, because and to tell you the truth, if I was Jeremy, I don't know if I'd have changed a whole lot after the first moto. Maybe tires, you see how slick it is right there. No tire's going to hook up good there, but some better than others. And he said he made an adjustment to the shock. Now, I don't know if they changed the shock that much. Possibly in anticipation of the mud sticking to the bike and weighing it down, they just put a little more preload on the shock spring so it didn't sag.
Take a look at the Honda field summary. Back with more after this. Back at Troy, Ohio, Art Ekman down in the pits. David Bailey, John Kernan up here in the booth. Things are kind of, I don't know, slowed down a little bit, kind of stretched out as these guys are trying to figure out this very muddy track.
Well, one of the sections I think has got to be really tricky. Look at that.
Oh, look at Albie. Remember in the first moto, I think it was on one of these sections here, he brought it up short and cased it, and it looks like he did the same thing right there. He dumps it, loses a number of spots, and David, we get another look at it.
Well, he's just got wheel spin. I was just about to point out that it's tough to get over this triple. When you come out of that corner, grab a handful of throttle, you just get wheel spin. He didn't get the drive he needed, and he tried to pull that off, and pretty big impact. That's going to drop him quite a few positions.
Doesn't look like it bothered him physically, but it had to hurt him mentally. And look at LaRocco. Remember a little bit earlier we were wondering where he was. Well, he has caught up with Jeff Emig, and he looks like he wants to make a charge. Oh, and look, that's Todd DeHoop, the Honda Troy rider. Remember, we saw him limping after he dropped the bike in Moto #1, and this time, David, it looks like it's a little more serious.
You don't like to see it. That's one of the officials seeing if he's okay. That's how I can't tell which section of the racetrack this is, but the way the bike's pointed, I don't think that was too pretty. And it's not a good day for DeHoop.
It looks like he's in a lot of pain lying down there, and I think he's just decided, I don't think I'm going to get up and try and get started again. But there's Jeff Emig. John Dowd is out front right now, and Emig in the second place. Third place is LaRocco. Emig has his sights set on the front. McGrath, remember, was running back in the 6th position. And let's look back now back to 4th. You've got Larry Ward is now putting a charge on LaRocco.
As LaRocco came around that corner behind the trees there, he wasn't able to do the double jump, and that's what allowed Larry to get so close.
Well, we are in the mid stages of Moto #2, so let's take a quick break right here. Thank you, David. There's a look at 3rd place, Mike LaRocco. And look, 4th place, Larry Ward on a Nolene Sizzler Yamaha has caught up to him. And, you know, we haven't heard that much about Larry. As I said in the first moto, he hasn't had that great an outdoor season, but he's coming on strong today.
He looks pretty, you know, the first moto, I thought he had a golden opportunity to put in a good finish, get a little confidence back, and hopefully get the ball rolling right there to the inside of LaRocco.
Oh, but LaRocco holds him off at the time being. But look at Larry Ward. He's getting some of that Supercross magic that he had for the indoor season this year back in his veins. But LaRocco still hanging on to the 3rd spot. But Larry Ward is putting on a challenge. Is Larry one of the good riders in the mud, David?
I think so. Larry doesn't really have a weakness. I don't think of Larry, you know, not doing well in the sand or the mud. He rides pretty good everywhere. And the first moto, he had a golden opportunity and just kind of let it slip away. He must have had problems with his arms pumping up, but here he looks pretty comfortable.
Right now he's trying to chase down LaRocco. Dowd is your leader as you take a look at the top 10 on the Honda field summary. Art Ekman, David Bailey, and John Kernan welcomes you back to Kenworthy Motocross Park, Troy, Ohio. And things are starting to heat up as Jeff Emig has caught John Dowd, and that will be a battle for the lead momentarily, it looks like.
Well, this is where, if Yamaha plays it smart, they can get Dowd out of the way and let Emig pick up some valuable points.
Well, Dowd is leading it. Let's check into his pits with Art Ekman.
Brian, you know what they're going to say if he wins it? He just turned on the water faucet again to get his mud conditions.
Well, actually, this rain is just the amount of sweat I've had today. I've sweated so much, it's come down in the form of rain now, so.
By changing that gear real fast for practice, did you make any changes for this moto, though, with the 125s getting a little bit of rain?
Well, to tell you the truth, when I was putting on hard pack tires for the second moto, but when the skies opened up, I put back the exact same tires I ran in the first moto. But I think the conditions are more suited for those tires now than they were actually for that moto, so hopefully we'll be right on.
Good luck, Brian.
Sometimes you make those decisions and they pay off for you.
Yeah, well, I think John could just, if he could run mud tires and have rain every week, he might be our 250 national champion already. He might have it wrapped up. This guy goes fast in the mud.
Right now, he is trying to go faster than his Yamaha teammate, Jeff Emig. There's about 1.5 seconds to 2 second separation between these two riders. Still plenty of time for Emig to get around. And Emig with the second place finish, if he can win the moto, he could come away with the overall victory. And he could pick up a lot of points on McGrath.
Right, Jeremy's still back. He's not even in the screen yet. And if you listen to John Dow when he comes by, he doesn't run the throttle wide open. He tends to run like a gear taller. He slips the clutch a little bit more, and he's just a lot easier with delivering that power to the ground. That's how you've got to ride on this slick stuff.
I was going to ask you, you ride the clutch quite a bit in the turns, don't you? You feather the throttle pretty much?
Right. You make your own power band. You'll hear these guys, they rev it up and get a lot of wheel spin, where John Dow just sort of delivers that power. Doesn't sound like he's going as fast, but he is.
Well, look at that. While we're talking about that, LaRocco gets around Jeff Emig, knocks Emig back a spot all the way to the 3rd spot.
And he was reaching over his shoulder.
Look at that. Emig just squirts back around. LaRocco back out in front, and now the fans have a little something to cheer for, but Emig is slowing down, it looks like.
Well, he just lost his timing through the whoops right there. He tried to make a pass, but he gave up his own line and gave up that rhythm that you need through that whoop section. LaRocco just went wide and left the door wide open, but he knew that Emig probably wouldn't be able to stop in his line, and it worked out perfect. He was able to square right back under him, and he's pretty close to John right here.
Well, LaRocco going around the outside. Look at him use that berm up as he tries to get a charge on John Dowd. He is just trying every possible line out there on the track, and hey, there he is. He swept back in and is now trying to chase him down. LaRocco may have a good shot at knocking off Dowd and taking the victory here in Moto number 2. Time now for this week's Suzuki Flashback. We hop on the time machine and ride back to last summer, Troy, Ohio, 1994. And on the takeoff, on his farewell tour number 5, Jeff Stanton would get off to a great start.
This is the second moto we're looking at. Jeremy McGrath already won the first moto. That's his first ever 250 national win. There he is right there, moving past Kyle Lewis.
But a lot of attention focused on Stanton, although Jeremy making a charge as Skip Norfolk looked on hoping they could pull off their first outdoor overall victory. But the battle would come down to LaRocco, who finished 3rd in the first moto as he chased down McGrath at the point.
Jeff Stanton was leading the race, and if he could have held off the charging Mike LaRocco, that would have given the overall to Jeremy McGrath.
But LaRocco wins moto number 2 and wins the overall by virtue of the tiebreaker. Meanwhile, back out front, you've got John Dowd still leading it. LaRocco, no, well, hey, I spoke too soon. Look at LaRocco scoot around John Dowd, and Jeff Emig has kind of dropped back a little bit. And now LaRocco, as we near the second half of moto number 2, the kind of shape that you got to believe he's in right now. This is his time to shine.
Well, he says he's not 100%. Remember, he broke his wrist, but when he was involved with that battle with Larry Ward, he flew off a jump and landed, so he's got to have a lot more confidence in it now.
Well, LaRocco has to be confident. He's out front, and Art Ekman is down in his pits.
Mike has just taken the lead. A tremendous effort under these slippery conditions.
Yeah, it is. That was a gutsy pass. It's pretty slick there, but it's good.
You talk about gutsy passes, though. When he moved into second place here, this late braking pass after the straightaway in front of the pits.
He's got a lot of guts. He gets it from me.
I'm not going to touch that, David, nor would I want to.
Me either. His son's fast. There's no question about that.
Has a lot of guts. He's out in front right now. John Dowd is there in second place. And in third, Jeff Emig, who I thought had dropped back a little bit, has picked things back up. And look at Jeremy McGrath has moved into 4th. As you take a look at our Honda Field summary, back with the finish after this. We are in the closing stages of moto number 2. Jeremy McGrath trying to make the charge. Remember, he won moto number 1. He's looking at the overall, I should say, but right now he's looking at Jeff Emig, trying to get a position away from him to pick up some points.
And what a great battle right there, going to the inside. Jeremy is sharp. He comes off the double jumps. Looks like he's going to pass both these guys.
Look at that. As he gets around John Dowd and Jeff Emig, and now Dowd is going to, he looks over his shoulder. He has to go outside and let Emig come back in to try and catch McGrath and get back around and pick up a couple of points.
Well, that was an awesome move by Jeremy, and as I started to say, when he comes off these doubles and triples, he times the bike so perfect. He lands on the downside. He's able to get to the inside berm, and he made the pass on Emig, and then went to the inside of Dowd, made that pass stick, and still had his timing through the whoop section. And there's not very many guys on the circuit that can do that.
Well, Jeremy McGrath, well, let's take another look at it right here.
Yeah, you see Jeremy, they just come off a triple jump, and Emig went wide. Jeremy squirts around the inside, makes the pass. Now Dowd's going out wide to get a run at this triple, which he only can double. Jeremy doubles it by taking the inside. Then he triples through here and puts some distance on these guys. So Jeremy just a little bit outclassing these guys through that Supercross stuff.
Well, we are on the final lap. The white flag has been waved, and Larry Ward is now hot on John Dowd trying to take that spot. Ward, a great ride here in this second moto.
No, I think he needs one to redeem himself from that first moto. I'd be pretty bummed if I dropped that far back after running second in the early going. So I'm just going to have to assume he had some problems with his arms, and I've had my arms pumped up before, and you can't even barely ride. It's hard to work the clutch and the throttle and everything when you have it like that. And to just avoid crashing, you just slow your pace a little bit. And in the process, he had a lot of guys lined up waiting to pass him, and unfortunately it happened.
Well, we're on the last lap, so now is not the time to slow down your pace. Ward, I thought for a minute there he was going to get a run on that section and try and out-jump Dowd, but he thought better of it. Meanwhile, up front, McGrath has caught Mike LaRocco. This is a battle for the victory. Man, wouldn't this be something? McGrath can come from behind and pull this off. He fell earlier in this moto, remember, after getting out to a great start.
Well, now it looks to me like McGrath doing to LaRocco what LaRocco did to McGrath last year, just about every race. McGrath would have the lead, and LaRocco would charge through the pack from seemingly whatever kind of start he got and make the pass. And right here, Jeremy giving Mike LaRocco a little dose of his own medicine.
Well, on this type of track today, as muddy as it was, as slick as it was, it's amazing that McGrath, after dropping the bike, winning moto number 1, he drops the bike early in this moto. He has charged back. I'm quite impressed with that. He can ride on this stuff.
Well, he's doing good. I think he surprises himself and everyone else every week by just rising to the occasion and doing whatever it takes to hold on to that points lead and even add a few more points to it. And right here, he's still got Emig behind him, so it just looks better in the overall title.
Well, if LaRocco does hang on to win, McGrath finishes second. Emig is now riding along in third spot. The way the points would stack up, it would go from a 13-point lead to an 18-point lead for Jeremy. Remember, he picked up 3 points in the first moto. Right now, 2 points separating he from Emig, but he's not going to give it up. He wants to add another 3 more points to that as he chases down LaRocco, trying to pick up the victory. But can he do it? Time's running out.
Well, as we pointed out before, LaRocco doesn't really figure into the overall points chase, and if Jeremy can make this pass, and he knows that's why he's trying so hard, try to put a few more points on Emig. This whole series could come down to 2 or 3 points going into the final moto, and this pass right here could make the difference.
But I don't think he's going to have the time to do it. In fact, McGrath coming out of the last turn. Now, there's the checkered flag is out. It waves for LaRocco, who takes the victory. McGrath comes along with that second place finish, and Emig is third. John Dowd, a fine run for him as he comes home in the 4th spot, and Larry Ward is on the top 5. Good for you, Larry. And as you take a look at the rest of the top 10, Damon Bradshaw in 7th. Art Ekman is with